Hi, I'm Ethan,
Hi, I'm Jackie,
and we are Plan Well to Live Well.
and today's topic is catastrophic illness.
So, Jackie, talk us a little about catastrophic illness.
Critical illness could also be a catastrophic illness. It could be heart attack, stroke, kidney disease, end-stage renal failure, dementia, Alzheimer's, and also cancer. All of these illnesses are plaguing our society today, and we're going to talk a little bit about how, if you were diagnosed with this illness, how does it relate back to your Medicare and your choice of your health plan.
We talk about this critical illness and the gaps in the Medicare health insurances and in the gaps with private health insurances, major medical insurance and employer health insurances. And the big pictures for our viewers to understand is that these gaps exist all across regular health insurance. And the gaps is, yes, the insurance company potentially will help you treat for your illness, but it won't necessarily pay for your loss of work, loss of wages. It won't pay, which when you go on disability through work or your employer doesn't even offer you disability, you have loss of wages altogether. So supplemental critical illness policy can help infuse some cash flow so that you could weather the storm and not have to spend down your savings or essentially go bankrupt because you have loss of wages.
And oftentimes when we're sitting with clients, you don't want to create the picture of doom and gloom, but you also want to paint the picture of the reality of it all. What happens if? What happens if I don't have this in place? And what if I do have it in place? And I want to have that peace of mind that as an advisor, I've advised my clients that these are the options that are available to them. And what would happen if? So God forbid if someone says to me as an advisor or meeting with my client that I did not tell them that this type of a supplemental insurance is in place in addition to what you currently have through your health insurance, or in this case of Medicare that we often provide for our clients. And then of Medicare, which of the two, the pros and cons of a Medicare supplement, which is called a Medigap policy, or a Medicare Advantage plan, just weighing out what is and what isn't covered so we can sit and have a really thorough conversation. So when they're doing the planning piece, there are no surprises.
I'll use, again, my family for an example. And this is not as dramatic, as serious as critical illness like cancers and strokes and heart disease, but I'll give you an example. So my mother-in-law needed back surgery. And through her health insurance, the back surgery that was covered would require her to be totally cut open. And weeks and weeks and weeks of recovery, covered by health insurance, with a minimal, copay, deductible, whatever the case may be, because she's on Medicare and she has a supplement. But she didn't want to be totally cut open and have weeks and weeks of recovery. So she sought out a medical treatment, which is not covered by health insurance. It is a medical treatment. She had to sign all kinds of waivers. And this was more like a laparoscopy. They did an incision with a camera and a scope, and a few hours later she was walking around, and that was $25,000. So same thing happens with things like strokes and chronics and like diabetes and heart conditions. Our medical professionals are not bound by only providing people treatment that's covered by the insurance. Our medical professionals could provide treatment to our customers outside of the codes approved by insurance companies. So when you have cash, you can go through a special treatment that maybe is not approved yet by the insurance company. So these types of policies could potentially provide you cash flow to pay your mortgage, to lodge, transportation, pay your copays and deductibles, but also provide you cash flow to take experimental treatments that are currently not approved by the health insurance company.
That's right.
It's a great policy to have. It's one of those things that you have to have it in place before the diagnosis. But once you do have it in place, it's just a matter of you bringing that diagnosis to an advisor like me if we've sold you the policy. And then we submit that diagnosis with the proper paperwork. And it could be anywhere, your claim could be, policy could be anywhere from $10,000 up to 70,000 with increments of 10,000. So just imagine, Ethan, you're diagnosed with an illness, a critical illness, and you're going to be receiving a check that's going to come to you tax-free.
And that will help me
And that's going to help you
pay my mortgage,
pay your mortgage,
buy food,
pay your co-pays, and just your standard of living and your quality of life in your home. That's one less thing that you have to worry about. Your main focus should be getting better, not worrying about.
So this will
bills.
help me because I could have loss of wages. I could not work. Depending on the job that I have, I can tell my boss, hey, I for the next 3 weeks, I'm going through treatment. And the boss could say, well, you're not getting a paycheck because that's the kind of, say, job you have. Or it could be like, okay, you got to go on short-term disability, which instantly is a 40% check cut on your paycheck. So this kind of helps me with cash flow so that I can weather the storm of not working or paying for experimental treatments or transporting or lodging or what have you, or even paying some of these health insurances have very large copays and deductibles. So this supplemental critical illness, heart, stroke, end-stage renal cancer policy could help provide cash flow, tax-free, so I can weather the storm of not working or paying for additional services outside of going to the hospitals and doctors.
That's right.
So we wanted to thank everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed this show. It was very informative for you. I wanted to thank everybody for joining us today.
And if you would like more information about the topic that we discussed today and to get a policy similar to what we just talked about, click the link in the bio to book a free informational, educational, no obligation consultation with Ethan and I, and we were happy to discuss with you what options that you may have available. And as always, we like to say, when you plan well, you live well. Thank you, everybody.